Hey guys, this is Mrs. Estrada. I wanted to give you some guidance since I'm getting a lot of emails about the project. So, if you were in fifth and sixth, I asked you to fold your paper in three, so you have one section from each unit. First and third, I forgot to remind you guys to do this, but basically it's a good way to organize each unit so that way you have space saved for each unit. So what you're going to do is make sure you have a title, Unit 1, Unit 2, Unit 3, and in the back, Unit 4, Unit 5, Unit 6. And you must include everything on the list. So I just put up my phone so you can see the list. This is a Google Doc on Google Classroom. In order to get the first 4 points, you must include every topic from all 6 units that are listed. So for example, here, Unit 1, variables, constants, coefficients, simplifying expressions using commutative, associative, distributive property, multi-step operations using distributive property, combining like terms, writing an English phrase as in an algebraic expression, equation, inverse operations, one-step solutions of equations, multi-step solutions of equations, inequalities, compound inequality, plotting the solution of an inequality on the number line, interval notation of an inequality. So I was able to fit all of this in this section. So here's an example from Unit 1. Notice I wrote a little bit too big. So what I recommend is start out small so that way you have enough space. But even then, I was able to go back and use the empty space to fill it up with the things that I needed. So for example, I got this from Problem on Alex. So again, if you need examples on problems, you can use the review on Alex. So here I wrote an equation, and I wrote an arrow to point to the different concepts. Here's my English term being converted to an algebraic expression. Here's the commutative property where I'm moving around the terms. And then here is an example of combining like terms. 5x plus 3x would be 8x. Here's an example of the associative property. Here's an example of the distributive property. So when I a number's outside of the parentheses. Here's an example of inverse. So if I want to move get rid of the positive 15, I do the opposite, which is minus 15. Here's a solution to multi-step equations. And then I ran out of space, so I went up to do an example for inequalities. And then I plotted the inequalities on a number line. X is greater than 1/2 and X is less than 1/2. Remember, open circle when there's no line underneath. And then the interval would be parentheses 1/2, comma 2, bracket. And then I put a little star to remind myself if I'm on the test. Remember, inequalities, when you divide by a negative, you need to switch the inequality symbol. So for example, negative 3x greater than 6. If I divide by negative 3 on both sides, I forgot to divide this side, I would have gotten x is, instead of greater than, I need to switch it negative 2. So that was a quick example from Unit 1. You're basically going to do this for all the units. So make sure you go to your list and make sure you write everything on that unit. So Unit 2 would go here. Everything from Unit 3 would go here. And so on and so forth for Unit 4, Unit 5, and Unit 6. So this is for those of you who emailed me about you're not sure how to organize. So this is one way you can organize it. As long as you have each unit divided by, you don't have to use this process, but this is probably the easiest one. Email me if you have any questions. Hopefully that helped. Hopefully yours looks way better than mine. I did this in like a couple of minutes. So take more time, organize it, write in a way that everything fits, and use colors, pictures. Be as creative as you can.